Hello and welcome to another episode of Oh and That's a Bad Mess. Hope all is well with you guys and we've had some non-stop snooker. It's been fantastic and we're not stopping anytime soon. We've just finished the World Grand Prix and now we are into the Welsh Open. As I record this, it's Monday the 11th and it's the first day of the Welsh Open. So we've got the Welsh Open. That ends on the Sunday. This Sunday, which I'm going to, which I'm so fucking excited for. And then we've got 3 days of China Open qualifiers, which tend to throw up some sort of awkward ones. Judd Trump didn't make it last season, if I remember correctly. And then after that, we're straight into the shootout, which, I mean, I could talk for days about that, but I think we'll do that closer to the time. But yeah, as I said, this last week we've had the World Grand Prix and we had some cracking matches. But before I get into that, just got to mention the sponsor, reddit.com/r/snooker, a discussion board to go, and especially this time of year where you've got so much snooker going on, you might want to see what other people think, have a chat about your favourite players, your favourite moments, anything you can think of snooker related. Pop over there, have a chat, go heading towards 10,000 subscribers to the subreddit, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, head over to reddit.com/r/snooker. Yeah, on to the World Grand Prix. Cracking tournament, as you may know, won by Judd Trump, 10-6 in the final against Ali Carter. Carter looked like he was pushing, about to get a comeback. It was 7-6 if I remember correctly. And then Trump sort of accelerated and won, which... it was quite a good way to win. I would have liked to see Ali win again, but I don't think it's deserved for the rest of the way the rest of his season's gone. And other than Mark Allen, he did have a rather easy route to the final. So I think it makes sense that Judd Trump would win. And Judd, strength to strength. My God, he played exactly how he did in the Masters, where he kept his head, even when Carter got that comeback. That's when Judd used to let his head slip. That's when he used to struggle with his mentality. It's where he used to lose it a bit, like a young O'Sullivan. But he didn't. He kept on. He took shot after shot and he played well and he won the tournament. It's the same thing that happened in the Masters, and it just shows how much of a mental game snooker is compared to other sports. Yeah, so we had some shockers during the first round. We had Marco Fu knocking out Ronnie O'Sullivan 4-2. I don't think anyone saw that coming. It was very strange to see Ronnie knocked out in the first round of a tournament, especially it being one of the ITV ones, which he has said he really enjoys competing in. So it's not like he can say he wasn't really trying, because he says he picks and chooses. He says he has these things going on outside of snooker that allow him to pick and choose his tournaments, and yet he still was knocked out in the first round. So we'll see how he bounces back this week with the Welsh Open. It would be quite nice to go watch him. He's not my favourite player, but if he makes it to the final, you'd have to be pretty happy. I'd have to be pretty happy. We also had Kyron Wilson versus Matthew Stevens in the first round, which was a terrible match. Honestly, I've never seen the two of them play so poorly. I think Matthew Stevens was 3-1 up at one point and came back, and Kyron Wilson ended up coming back and winning 4-3. Both of them playing absolutely horrifically, which surprises me that Kyron Wilson made it all the way to the quarterfinals after that, thrashing Stuart Bingham in the next round. Strange. It shows snooker's one of those sports where you can come out one day, play your ass off, play incredibly well, and then next game play absolute shite. Another shocker for John Higgins, 4-2 to Noppon Sankam. How many times is this going to happen? I saw someone on the subreddit say it perfectly. How long is... I don't think we'll see John Higgins next year. Maybe he takes a year off. Maybe he retires entirely. He's clearly not enjoying his snooker, and he's being knocked out in the first round of everything he's doing. I think that's 4 in a row now. It's shocking. Honestly, he's going from 2 World Championship finals to this. Really disappointing for him. You also had Yuan Sijun knocking out Mark Williams, defending world champion. And Sijun made it all the way to the quarterfinals before being knocked out by Zhao Gudong 5-4, and that was a close match. So Yuan has continued to really show that the young Chinese can get there. It's just like I've said before, it's getting that one who can go a step further than Ding ever could. Win the Worlds. It's like, who was it who had it was a young Chinese lad, I can't remember his name right now, I do apologise, but there was a young lad who had a good run in the World Championships last year, and it sort of made you think maybe this could be coming. But we've been saying that for the last 15-20 years since I've been alive. They've been saying, the young Chinese players are taking over, and it still hasn't happened yet, so we'll wait and see. But Yuan definitely has that swagger about him around the table, that confidence that young Ding never had. Ding used to be such a shy, retired type, but Yuan seems to have quite a confidence about him that a lot of players don't have. Another surprising sort of thing from the next round, from the last 16, was Dave Gilbert knocking out Ding Junhui and making it all the way to the quarterfinals. Dave Gilbert is having a cracking season. He hasn't played this well in his life. He made the 147th 147. He's made multiple finals and made it through to the quarterfinals again here, knocking out Ding Junhui 4-0 as well. That's something else. Although definitely wasn't the biggest story of the last 16. That was Mark Allen versus Ali Carter, which ended in controversial, shall we say, manners. Mark Allen conceded the frame when there was still, how many points was it? 115 points left on the table, because he missed a dodgy yellow. Yes, I watched the shot. He seemed to be stretching a bit, and I'll tell you what would help that: losing a bit of weight. This isn't me being mean. This is me having an honest conversation about weight in sports, and that's how it should be. Snooker, yes, it's a big drinking game. It's a big pub atmosphere game. It's not played by athletes, but you can't expect to have the same level of competitiveness as a lot of other players when your belly is getting in the way of you taking some shots. I know Sean Murphy struggled with his back, and that would be highly lessened by him losing some weight. And I'm not just talking from being a knob. I personally used to be 19 stone, and now I'm put on a stone since Christmas, but I'm around 13 stone at the moment. So I know it takes a lot of effort to lose weight, and I mean, I'd obviously be up for helping the lads, but I'm sure they could get proper personal trainers, and I have no form of contacting them. It's their bodies, it's their careers, but if they really want to stop these awkward situations happening, you do what you can in snooker to take every situation and you look at every outcome, every possible something. But if your belly's getting in the way of you taking a shot and you've got to use the rest, or you've got to stretch across instead, and you're uncomfortable while taking a shot, that's a huge disadvantage. So yeah, what do you guys think about the weight in snooker? Think about the best. There aren't too many big lads, are there? They tend to be relatively slim. But yeah, he conceded after missing a terrible yellow, and conceded that frame with 115 possible points left on the table. And conceded the frame, and that was the last frame of the match, so conceded the match. He said he doesn't regret his actions at all, and he doesn't regret much of what he's done over the years. Understandable, no point in living with regrets, but at least apologise, because there's people who've paid to watch that snooker, and you cut it short. And it's already a best of 7, so you're not getting more than 7 frames worth of snooker for your ticket price. I think it's pretty disrespectful, personally. I can understand I can understand the frustration getting over you, and you just turning and saying, I'm done. But you don't, not in a best of 7 when it's so short, and not. It only takes one good break to turn the whole match around in a best of 7. It's quite disrespectful and childish in my opinion. And he also did come up with a few excuses, saying that the table was disgusting, and yeah, apparently you had to hit the white incredibly hard to get it to move at all, which is fair enough. We've been through this. Snooker's such a game of fine margins that a little bit of extra humidity, maybe the way it was transported, any of these little things can change it. And listening to Paul Collier on Dave Hennon's podcast, he talked about how now they don't put the balls on the table until right before break-off, where they used to put it on half an hour before, because it builds up the static and changes the way the balls roll. It's all these little things are taken into account. Problem is, there's no way when the snooker has the money behind it, which isn't the same as like Premier League levels and football levels and all these other sports. There's no way of having perfect results on every table unless you were to do it in a lab. And we've got the Champions League, and that doesn't work particularly well. So I think that just about covers all the main stories of the Grand Prix. That was a great little tournament. I love the ITV ones. Although apparently ITV, there's been some leaked information about ITV's relationship with snooker. Apparently, this is all alleged, no confirmation from ITV, obviously, or World Snooker. ITV aren't happy. They were promised better ratings and other things within the conversation of money, and you know Barry Hearn. The man is a master negotiator. I wouldn't be surprised if he's inflating the amount of viewers he's expecting for each tournament. And the seats were half empty at the Grand Prix, so that says a lot about it. But apparently ITV aren't too happy about the way the snooker's going, so we'll see where that is when their contract runs out in a couple of years. And they've already dropped the shootout. The shootout is now on Eurosport, when that was on ITV for most years since its inception. So yeah, we will see how that goes, which is a shame because I do like the ITV events, especially with the commentators. My God, they're good. You got Clive Everton, you've got Stephen Hendry, Alan McManus, Neil Folds. I wasn't sure about Folds when I first heard him commentating, but I've definitely warmed to him. Only problem is Phil Yates, and they won't get rid of him because I'm not sure why. He's okay. I was on YouTube the other day and I was watching pool, and Phil Yates was commentating. I've never watched a pool video in my life, so I didn't know Phil Yates did pool commentary. Worked in that scenario because pool is very American, very over the top, very short, very fast move. At snooker, it just doesn't work. His analogies are horrific. It's just I wish he'd calm it down a bit because he does know his stuff. He knows so much about snooker. If you listen to the A to Z on Dave Hendon's podcast, which is already the second time I've mentioned that podcast, Dave, hit me up, slide into my DMs. It's incredible the amount that Phil Yates knows. I just wish he'd sort of go from 11, do the opposite of a Spinal Tap. Turn it down from 11 down to a 3 or 4, please, for the love of Christ. Yeah, moving on. We had the investigation into corruption for David John and Jamie Jones come to an end. They've both been suspended for a significant amount of time, and I think it's because Jamie Jones is a relatively large name, making it to the last 16 of the 2018 World Championships. They've both been banned. It appears that David John had an interaction with a match fixer, someone who wanted to pay him to fix a match, and David John refused. Let me find the exact wording of it on WPBSA. Here we go. Jamie Jones, on the basis of his admission and other evidence, had failed to report the approach to David John for John to fix his match outcome against Graham Dott. So Jamie Jones simply didn't report the fact that he knew that David had been approached, which is, a lot of people talk about that and they say, oh, that's a bit harsh to ban someone for that. If it was a real, well, it is a crime technically, but if it was a theft or a robbery or worse, if you knew about it and you didn't hand them into the police, you're an accessory to that crime, and therefore you're an accessory to the corruption in snooker, so deservedly banned. But David John has previously admitted fixing his matches against Graham Dott, played on the 29th of September 2016, and against Joe Perry on the 24th of January 2017, and he also failed to corrupt. He didn't fail to corrupt, he very clearly corrupted. He failed to cooperate with the WPBSA's investigation. And here is their punishments. David John has been suspended from attending and competing in all World Snooker events, and that includes pool, billiards and snooker, for a period of 7 years. He's been given less time for admitting the charges eventually, so the period has been lessened to 5 years and 7 months, and that runs from the 22nd of May 2018, which is when his original suspension happened, and he'll be cleared to play on the 21st of December, nice Christmas present, 2023. He also had to pay £17,000. Okay, to the bigger players, not a huge amount, £17,000, but for David John, someone struggling to make ends meet on the tour, that's a huge amount of money, and that's his career gone. 21st of December 2023, done. He's not coming back. It's the same as the young Chinese lads. Chow Yu Peng might make a return. Yu Delu, not a chance. Same with David John. Jamie Jones, same suspension. Rules, as in not allowed to attend or compete in WPBSA sanctioned events for a period of 16 months. So clearly a lot less, because he didn't actually do any match fixing. He was just aware that David John had been approached. He wasn't even aware David John had been fixing. He was just aware that David John had been approached to fix a match. So 16 months. He's been given credit for admitting that charge. So the period has been reduced to a year, 12 months. And that runs from the 11th of October 2018, which was when he was suspended, and that runs out on the 10th of October this year. Obviously, not the end of his career. He has been ordered to pay £9,000 towards the PBSA's legal costs. So that's the WPBSA making £28,000 off of them. David John's career over, rightfully so. Been through this. Do not want match fixers and cheaters coming back to tournaments. And Jamie Jones will return on the 10th of October, and I imagine that's just going to be an extended break for him. He's made some decent money in snooker, nothing huge. What are his career earnings? Jamie Jones. Apologise for the sound of the typing. Snooker. And you always find that when you're Googling a snooker player, you have to type in snooker afterwards, because there's always some young YouTuber or social influencer or one of them lot who's got the same name. And his career winnings are nearly £500,000, 423,000. So I think he'll be alright to survive 9 months, 9 months more, 8 months more, 8 more months. That's it. So without playing, and yeah, I've been through my thoughts on match fixing enough. I think we've had plenty of match fixing going on this last year. Hopefully that's it until at least summer. It's not asking for much, World Snooker. Just stop fixing your matches. Not World Snooker, they're doing a great job, and the WPBSA are doing a great job of rooting them out and banning these people. But please, snooker players, I doubt a single one of you's ever listened to one of these, but please stop fixing your fucking matches. It's not worth it. Look at it. David John, career out the window. The game he loves playing, the sport he loves, he ruined it. But that's his fault for taking not only on one occasion, but twice. And they're the only ones he's been caught for. Who knows how many times it happened. So yeah, I think that'll do us for this week. We are on to the Welsh Open at the moment. That's currently going on as I speak. And like I said, I'm going on Sunday to both sessions of the final. Got my tickets right here. Don't know how that's supposed to prove that I've got them, but there you go. Session at 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock. So I got to drive from my home in Dorset over to Cardiff on the morning, and for once I'm actually hoping for a short evening session, because I've got to drive from Cardiff back to Dorset and then work at 6:30 that next morning. So that'll be fun. I'm an idiot for thinking that was a good idea. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. As ever, check out reddit.com/r/snooker. Constantly blowing up at the moment. Makes me very happy to hear whenever I log on and we see we've got, well, I think we gained nearly 100 subscribers in one day during the Masters final. So that was very nice, and we're constantly heading up, and like I said, approaching 10,000 subscribers, and a proper nice little community. Had some struggles with a certain spam account, but yeah, that's the price that comes with fame, I'm afraid. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, I'd appreciate you hitting that subscribe button, either on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. I don't think Spotify has a subscribe button. Follow. And yeah, I will see you guys next week, where I believe I will be doing some on-the-scene podcasting. Probably either in my car, or who knows. I doubt they'll let me do it in the arena. So thank you guys for listening. See you next week.